trying to do the right thing for myself, get myself back in shape. I've been kind of doing a whole lot of nothing for too long already, but I think I've been a little consistent with it now, getting a little bit better, so a little bit better. Spend a lot of time pretty much sitting in a car doing deliveries. I feel like I've spent so many of my days in the past few years alone just sitting in my car, just as long as I'd probably spend just laying in a bed to sleep every day because of doing deliveries. I mean, but it's what you gotta do. It pays, so it's actually really nice to just kind of be in a home most times and just not have a whole lot going on. It's just nice to actually like be able to go to a table and eat, watch TV, anime. Actually get into hobbies too. Actually explore my own interests. Things that I actually really enjoy. Gardening has been one of those things. I picked it up when my mom was really big into gardening. She was really big on like flowers and growing vegetables and stuff. And when I came home to take care of my dad, I told him that I wanted to get into gardening. I remember him actually telling me he felt like it'd be really good for me and he could totally see me doing that. It's actually, it's funny, a few people that have actually said that to me. I wonder what gives that off, but yeah, I finally got this planter going, got some seeds in there. I heard that an old trick was to keep flies and pests away was to put cayenne pepper in the soil or on top of the soil to sprinkle it. Put some cinnamon on there too and all that. So I was trying that out. I think I actually had to go to the store to go and buy more cayenne pepper, and I actually went out to do some grocery shopping by the end of the day anyway. But yeah, it's nice to actually... Asheville has a very refreshing feeling about it. There's something really nice and satisfying just driving through the mountain air at any point of the year. It just seems really nice. It's actually really grown on me quite a bit. I thought I would miss being up north, and I think there's like small aspects of it that I do miss, but not a whole lot that I've been thinking about, that I feel like I'm missing out on anyway. I guess that's the best way for me to put it. That's how I've been kind of feeling. And Asheville kind of presents itself in a very unique way to me. It's just like, this is very, it's just oddly refreshing. It's really nice to just be around people, go home, and everybody's like really nice to you. The community, the sense of community and the sense of family down here is actually, it's contagious. But back to it, everybody's on the grind too. My days have actually been starting a lot earlier since doing the substitute teaching gig. So that means earlier starts to a nice workout, physical routine before we end up sitting in the car or at a desk for most of the day. I'm glad that I actually started doing this now when I did, because it's actually helpful. I mean, for all the reasons that you think it would be, and that that it would be. I also find it's really fun to just learn calisthenics skills. For the past year or so, or maybe some change, on and off, I haven't really been 100% committed like I started out to be, but So it's been a little over a year, maybe almost a year and a half, but I've been practicing handstands. And I think today, in between classes, I was substitute teaching at an elementary school, doing a gym class. This happened to be probably my longest hold off the wall. So I tried to keep calm about that. But that was pretty nice. That was an accomplishment. Anyway, I think if I remember correctly, a teacher had called me, the gym teacher for the elementary school. He called me and asked me if I could do 2 different days, 2 different weeks in the month of May, and that was nice. So paid well. It's such an easy job. It's really funny, and it's actually really nice to come back home or just get your work day done. Oh my. Earlier on in the day, as opposed to, delivery driving or a gig when you're pretty much working at night. Which obviously I still do anyway.
So what's crazy? So without the sun, we won't even have. It's the same thing through the vegetables here on Earth. It goes through photosynthesis.
I know I spend a lot of time in my head, especially if I'm like not listening to anything, the radio or a podcast or an audiobook or whatever. I'm not really, yeah, kind of. I feel like, yeah, I can admit that I definitely overthink things, or I just spend too much time in my own head. But I feel like it's inevitable sometimes, especially during this type of gig. Like, I mean, when you're on your own all the time, that's just something that comes with it. Until you're around like people or little people, in this case kids, when you're in another day of substitute teaching. What am I talking about? Something I keep on thinking about every time that's probably the most memorable last times that I had taught with student teaching. And that was actually like pretty fun. I actually really enjoyed that. I did the middle school and the high school out in Long Island. I forget which school district it was, but that was actually a really nice time. The middle school down here, it's not my favorite days, but any day that you work is a payday. So that's how I look at it. And it's substitute teaching. Like, I'm not their teacher. I'm there for the day. You're doing what you got to do while you got to do it. It's a lot of low pressure days, although, despite everything else. The days are very low pressure. I don't particularly feel pressed to do anything. I don't feel in a hurry. Some of these days are actually really slow anyway, too. Especially doing deliveries. Here's actually slow moment of the day. Practicing handstands again. This is actually probably one of my better days, too. Whenever there's like a slow moment in the day of doing deliveries, I'll usually come to this parking lot. I almost always come to this lot and either just sit here and just listening to music, or probably just doom scroll, or practice handstands. That was probably like one of my best press ups that I've had so far. And in the moment, I remember feeling quite proud about that. But yeah, it's a town Nashville is a city that really thrives off of making sure to support local, businesses. The delivery service only caters to local businesses, local restaurants and such, which Asheville has a lot of. So there's times where it's really busy. And then there's times where it's really slow. And so we went over how slow moments go. And at around this time, it, starts to pick up. And of course, it's, the later on in the day goes, and the busier it typically gets. People are home from work, or it's the weekend, whatever it is. But it's something that doesn't go all night. My days with teaching involved usually start as early as maybe 5, and then I'll usually end doing deliveries at around 9 p.m. We've also had a stretch of wildfires, by the way, at some point. I don't know if anybody knew that, but that was one of them. It's funny to actually even say that. If anybody even knew that. Asheville is such a small town, but there's a lot that happens here. It's really funny. It's kind of just in its own bubble. Just has its own kind of thing going on here. It's nice, and it's it's another thing that I've learned to see as oddly refreshing, kind of satisfying. But the community is small, and everybody seems to know everybody. I often forget that it's a small city, just kind of spit in the middle of the mountains. As monotonous as the days sometimes feel, I do make an effort to try and remember that there's beauty in every single one of these days. I may not see it now, and I definitely may not feel it. I'm probably not as grateful as I should be, but we're still here, we're still breathing, and we still got work to do.